While beginning a research project can feel daunting, getting started on Ancestry is easy. This video provides tips to ensure that you get the most out of the resources available through the Ancestry database. We can begin our search with the basic information we have about our veteran, Betty I. Stout. We don't know her middle name yet, just the initial. Betty was born in 1924 and passed away in 2010. We can also include West Virginia in our search terms, as we at least know that she is interred at the West Virginia National Cemetery. Before you begin clicking into any of the sources, take a look more broadly at the search results. The first two results are for Betty Jo Stout, born in about 1923. Our veteran has a middle initial I, but it's possible that this is a mistake and her actual name starts with J. The similar years of birth make this more puzzling. The third result is for Betty Strutt, though the brackets below indicate that a fellow Ancestry user has corrected this to Betty Stout. The fourth result is for Betty Irene Stout and displays our veteran's exact year of birth and death. Let's start here since the information lines up perfectly. Opening this result shows us Betty's headstone and that she is buried at the West Virginia National Cemetery. Betty Irene Stout is definitely our veteran. She was a private in the U.S. Army serving during World War II. Note that Betty's husband is listed too, Richard Benjamin Stout. This means that Stout is Betty's married name. It's important to be thorough and accurate in your research. Knowing that Stout is Betty's married name, not her maiden name, allows us to rule out the mismatched records on our search. Betty Jo Stout isn't a typo or mistranscription of Betty Irene. Betty Jo Stout's maiden name is Stout. Her married name is Casto. Investigate this information further still. It's possible that our veteran was married more than once. Could this still be the same Betty? No, because this record shows us that Betty Jo's parents were John and Edna Stout. Stout is definitely Betty Jo's maiden name, not her married name, so this is definitely not our veteran. Now that we're certain Betty Irene Stout is our veteran, let's keep digging. When you open an Ancestry source, you'll see suggested records to the side. These are helpful as you get started in your research, but remember that these records are suggested based on an algorithm. It's important to cross-check information and to look critically at each record. You don't want to be accidentally collecting data for Betty Jo when you're really looking for Betty Irene. So, we know that Betty was married to Richard Stout. We can use that moving forward to verify our data. Ancestry has suggested a marriage record from Ohio for us, though you'll notice the name listed is Betty Poland Adoption Legal. Let's take a look at this record and try to determine if it's our veteran. Once the source is opened, the name changes to Betty Poland Taylor. But don't click away just yet. Keep investigating. Betty Taylor's birth year is correct for Betty Irene Stout, and her husband is listed as Richard B. Stout. This lines up correctly as we know our veteran's spouse was Richard Benjamin Stout. Betty Taylor Stout was the daughter of Raymond Taylor and Laura Holderman. Keep digging to determine if this is our Betty. Looking at the suggested records again, there's a birth record available for Betty Irene Taylor. Since our earlier discoveries suggest Betty Irene's father's last name is Taylor, Betty Irene Taylor could be our veteran's maiden name. Yes, Betty Irene Taylor was born in 1924 to Raymond and Laura Taylor. Now that we have a better background of Betty, including her parents and spouse, let's try using Ancestry's advanced search to uncover more. An advanced search allows you to input more information than the general search. We know now that Betty's middle name is Irene, so we can include that. We can also add events to our search. Let's add Betty's marriage, which took place in 1949 in Ohio, and her death in 2010. Adding Betty's parents and spouse will also narrow our search results. This more detailed search filtered out the results we saw earlier for Betty Jo Stout. It also provided us with a profile for Betty made by an Ancestry user. Let's explore this family tree. To the right, we can see Betty's parents as well as her spouse and children listed. Note that her mother's maiden name is listed as Henderson, not Holderman. It'll take more digging to verify the spelling. According to this tree, Betty was married once before she wed Richard Stout. Her first husband was Jack Harold Poland. Since Jack's date of death is listed as 1998, we learn that Betty was divorced and not widowed. This information explains why Poland was included on her marriage certificate to Richard. Betty and Jack Poland had one daughter, whose name is not available. When a person is listed as private on Ancestry, this means that they are still living and is meant to protect their privacy. Similarly, according to this tree, Richard Stout is living, as we know that he was Betty's second husband. Ancestry trees are helpful and can be gold mines, but they need to be fact-checked. This tree was created using 4 sources. We'll come back to the census in a moment. First, we have Betty's marriage record to Richard, which we have already seen. Next, we have an obituary. Obituaries can provide accurate and current information about a person at the time of their passing. Obituaries are often written by loved ones and can capture what the deceased valued most, including children, hobbies, pets, and careers. By viewing this obituary, we learn that Betty was born in Clarksburg and that she had 2 siblings. Betty was living in Whitehall, West Virginia at the time of her death, and she was survived by one daughter, Laura. This information came from a primary source, the obituary itself. However, notice that we're looking at an Ancestry record, not the original obituary document. Ancestry's software extracted this information automatically from a newspaper, but due to copyright laws, they're not allowed to display the original article. Betty's obituary was originally published in the Sunday Gazette Mail, a newspaper from Charleston, West Virginia, on November 14, 2010. Since we have the exact details of the newspaper, we could find the original at the West Virginia State Archives later, or through an online newspaper database. The 4th tool cited is Curious, listed as Cunningham, Bill number 2293. What does that mean? By clicking on the Associated Facts tab, we see that this citation was used for Betty's marriage to Jack Poland. The citation information provided shows that this was information manually added to Ancestry by user Bill Cunningham. Bill made a note that he gathered this information from an outside website and that he had corresponded via email with the author of that site, Joyce Yowler. Again, while we don't have access to Betty and Jack's marriage record, we have a trail we can follow to find it. Lastly, the 1930 census has been attached to Betty's tree. Unlike the other 3 sources, the census is available to view in its original form. It's important to look at the primary source documentation itself whenever possible. The data presented by Ancestry is pulled from the primary source using transcription software. While this is useful at a glance, it is not always accurate. It's best to look at the document yourself and interpret the data. Primary sources, like the census, are the building blocks of historic research. Census records provide a plethora of information about your veteran. Check out the tutorials on using and interpreting census data to develop a holistic understanding of your veteran. Ancestry is a powerful research tool. Approach your search results thoughtfully and with a critical eye. Fact-checking along the way keeps your research on track and grounded. Happy searching.